Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Okay. First, we do this prayer, and then we begin. I think question and answer. I believe we do that. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Again, thank you very much, Lama Jamban, and all the members of the Dorje line members. Thank you very much for inviting me again here to beautiful places and be with you all this evening and discussing the little bit teaching of the Buddha Dharma. And so I'm very grateful and thankful to everyone. Okay, thank you, everyone. Thanks. Now, as I think I mentioned to Lama Jambar and then Dennis, and maybe we have some question and answers. I heard you have some questions and answers, so I thought maybe you have some questions. I'll try to answer that, and also I can look here if you have some reference in there in the text, then we look and then we discuss.
anyone here that has, especially our members of our sangha who are in our Tuesday book study group. We've been studying this book for several months. So if you have questions that you would like to ask regarding this, please.
Yeah.
I certainly can
Yeah.
ask a couple, but
Yeah, please. Okay.
Could you explain to us the meaning of the primordial ground of original purity, and how that relates to the path?
Okay. Primordial ground is generally the primordial ground is the basic origin and nature, absolute nature. That is just an absolute level, and the subject and object all are within that nature state. So there is nothing really any difference. But when we're talking more in the Dzogchen level to discover that primordial ground, then referring to the most of the time to our nature of the mind. Nature of the mind is the primordial ground. Your nature of the primordial nature of the mind, or the primordial nature of the mind, is your ground. And my primordial nature is my primordial ground. That means, according to generally in Buddhism, from the Mahayana all the way to the Vajrayana teaching, whatever we see is all reflections of our own display of the mind, or everything. Where that come from is from the primordial nature of your mind. Your mind and reflected variety of the poems. All those varieties of the poems can summarize into three, and those are known as the poem, sound, and mind, and space. That's it. Everything is really a reflection of our own primordial nature. So that means my form, my sound, my space, or my visions of the poem, my visions of the sound, my visions of the space and the mind is my primordial nature's reflections, and as well as you. Therefore, it is known as ground of the primordial nature. That means ground of every these phenomena, everything, both samsara, nirvana, all merge from one's own primordial ground. And that is the primordial ground. But how that becomes a path, how that primordial nature is actually. Primordial nature has nothing in what's called, is not in any existing materials. It is what in the teaching often said, pure from the beginning, is beyond the conceptions, beyond the imagination, beyond the existing non-existence. This is also in the teaching mentioned, beyond. It's not just trying to trick the mind and say that, but you can investigate, analyze your own mind, how that mind is, and what we have really answered, what we can explain about our own mind. There's nothing to explain. For that reason, it's called beyond the conception, beyond the world, and beyond the labels and so forth. So that is nature. That is ground nature. But then how this path becomes? This becomes the path. Because this becomes path, nature is pure from the beginning, no extreme, no label, no beyond any conception. That means there's nothing to hold. But we sentient beings or the living beings are being started holding onto that. That is known as grasping, clinging. So grasping, clinging, and where the nature is completely contradicting. Nature is beyond, there's totally open, But grasping is regulating, holding, dividing, discrimination. That's why we've been in a samsara. We've been wandering in the world and with all the challenges. We kind of distant from the nature due to our own mistakes of the habit patterns. So now, then gracious teacher Buddha Shakyamuni pointed out that now if we, because of all these troubles, if we reconnect it back to the nature where nature is, then all the troubles and all the difficulty will be resolved and resolved. For that reason, then we follow the path. Path is also lined exactly where the ground is, nature is. For those reasons, in the teaching often said, view, and then path and a meditation, or path and a resolve. So, view is the view of the ground, primordial ground. That is view. That is our practice. That is our goal. That is what we're going to keep up, that vision, that view clearly. And then we follow the path now. Path means keeping the vision, keeping the view exactly as it is. Keeping the view. And view is what? Beyond the consumption, beyond the label, beyond the extreme, I always said. That is view, that is a primordial ground. So we are going to maintain that, to liberate it or to transcend the dualities or the grasping clinging. So that's what we call meditating in the Dzogchen level. Meditation, there's nothing more meditative, substantially solid existence to hold meditation, but keeping and maintaining that view, that primordial ground, exactly as a nature, and then that's what is known as the path. Path means you're meditating, maintain it that's the really path. Meditation and practicing is the path, and that is my answer.
And Rinpoche, if all beings and phenomena and relative reality came from the primordial ground, yes?
Yes.
How did that happen? How did beings come into existence in the first place?
And
how did dualism come in?
I actually, in the teaching, said that everyone, we all in the same primordial nature state. That didn't mean we're all in one single kind of like one bowl, all that. Each individual is its own reality, as we are now. Its own natures like that. But nature is the same. It's pure from the beginnings. But also nature is open. There's nature don't have any discrimination, this and that. It's wide openness. And also nature is filled with energies. So those are the symbols sometimes the teaching mention, wind. There's so much energy. So in the teaching said at the very beginning time, then pure from the beginning, and the energy arises, wind. When energy arises, then the awareness, that means the awareness rose up in a way from the primordial ground, it rose up. And the moment that rose up, then we sentient beings kind of almost instantly start a little bit almost subtle, very, very subtle in a panic situation, and hold subject and object, kind of very subtle. And that is really the beacon. This is our own display, but yet we kind of separated that as subject and objects, and that is the beginning of the then delusions. That's how the expanded duality continued with that. But for example, Buddha summoned the Buddha, and the same nature, when it arises, instantly recognize it is own self-display, and moment that recognized, and Buddha summoned the Buddha, he or she rested in that nature, or being that, and that moment instantly become enlightened, and never furthermore no delusions, and continue to maintain that perfect realization. That's the really teaching said.
And then how did beings arise in the first place to make the choice between the choice that Samantabhadra made of not going into delusion? Where beings, how did they even arise to
because
go into dualism?
The subtle, that duality, that duality is the beginning of the delusions. It's not the matter the choice, but it's just happened. It's easy carried away by that force of the arising energy and hold as a subject object, and that's what really it just instantly kind of carried with that spontaneous, and then from that subject holding that kind of division of subject and object, that division hold, it is also known as the beginning of ignorance, beginning of the very subtle ignorance. So that dullness, that ignorance, then kind of a little bit more expanded and become stronger and stronger. Then ego clinging also came. Just that involvement, it came and become stronger, and then delusion expanded the delusions.
Rinpoche, to follow on John Paul's question, there's also, besides the oral teachings in the book, many great questions that you're asked in that teaching. And maybe this also goes to the same question. One question someone asked about, because in the Buddha Dharma and the Buddha's three marks of existence is dukkha, dissatisfaction, anitya, that nothing is permanent, and anatman, that there's no separately existing self. So sometimes people think when they hear anatman, no self, that in the liberation or enlightenment, then all selves merge into one. And so you answer the question in the book, but maybe for everyone else, you could ask that. And maybe this also goes to John Paul's question, like, so you said there's a ground, but you say our own ground. So you're having your experience, the primordial ground, and every individual is having. So but answer the question, you in the book, when the student asked about all selves merging, so there's no individuality anymore, you answered that question. You said, no, I think you said, there never has been and never will be one mind, where everything merges together. Because sometimes that's difficult for people. They think, oh, no self, that means this is dreamlike, but eventually I will disappear, like pouring water back into the ocean. Then you can't tell the difference, it all disappears.
No, that not okay. So what is it?
So I think John Paul was saying. So how did beings arise? So in the pure ground, the pure primordial ground, do we always exist? Because in Longchenpa's teaching, in finding comfort and ease, he seems to say, in the pure ground, Samantabhadra, he never deviated. But out of the pure ground, then beings sometimes go to deviate into samsara.
Yeah, that's it.
And then we're tired of samsara. And he said the pure ground, like 2 years ago you gave a talk and you said samsara is illusion, nirvana is illusion. It's all like a dream.
Yeah.
So Longchenpa says, in the pure ground, it's like a dream, it's like an enchantment. And then beings wander into cyclic existence, another kind of enchantment. And then we become sad and we don't like this. And then now we have sadhana, we have spiritual practice. He said this is another kind of enchantment, so that we can now come to the fourth level, which is back to the pure ground. And he says, we never moved. We never went anywhere. So is this correct, that all beings, all of us individually exist in the pure ground? But it's like a trick of awareness, of mind's creativity, that we cling and we separate ourselves.
Yeah, it's a real, and I think so. I would say, natural level. Exactly as Great Master Longchenpa said, that's the really teaching. Said, Longchenpa said that is like, there's nothing higher and deeper and accurate to go than that. As Longchenpa said, he said, whatever we experience, whatever go through in the 6 realms, in the four different ways to take the birth in the 6 different realms, but reality level, sentient beings have never moved one small hair out of the nature. We all always been in nature. We are in the nature. We will be always in the nature. So it's not something that we went from the pure grounders. But then why we all this experience, all these things? This is how they said. For example, when you're sleeping in a warm, nice, comfortable bed, now you fall asleep. Sleep. In the dream, what are you dreaming? You went to Pure Land, experience so beautiful, so nice. And then you went to the hell after that. And what is you see, experience? What are you? And then you went to the different realms, one after another. But reality level, you never moved from your bed. No went anywhere. You've always been the same bed. So this is what our vision, what we're going through. All this is really like this. It's all phenomena that created by on our duality. It's therefore it is really big duality dreams that we're going through. Reality, that dream is the primordial nature status. That dream is only why we are having all that dreams, all those deviations and distinctions, right? Because due to not recognize, due to the holding each time we hold and grasp, and that is which we getting some uncomfortable, like uncomfortable to the we are dreaming status. In natural level, there's nothing really changed at all. It's just the same thing. So that's what the great master Longchenpa said, and each of us, our own, the primordial nature is very special, unique, and distinctly clear and open and pure from the beginning. Yet it's not just all is like jumbo mumbo, what they call it. Mumbo, or as like spaghetti sauce together. All that. That's not, according to Buddha's teaching, is not. It's distinctly that. For example, for this reason, for example, each of those Buddha reaching enlightenment become the Buddha. Even totally they are full of love, full of compassion, full of wisdom, full of all that qualities that, but yet they have distinctly qualities such as Chinese embodies compassion, Manjushri embodies the wisdom, Vajrasattva embodies the purification of purity, that Amitara represents the swiftly. I mean, slightly different, distinctly qualities that. That's how that previous time before they get enlightenment, they made that commitment, that energy, and they continue to pursue, and then reach that or become the enlightenment. So even though it's all enlightened beings, but yet they're distinctly qualifications. So when we reach enlightenment, that didn't mean that we are gone. We are distinctly clearly. Or when we free the ego clinging, what is gone? Our duality is gone. Otherwise, we are not gone anywhere. We are just clearly as what we are. Nothing really. At that time, we are more efficient, more comfortable, more pervasive, more outreaching, and more beneficial, more love, more kind. That's it. But what is gone? What is gone? Duality. That unnature that bounded us in this world, that is dissipated. Otherwise, we are perfectly, fully functioning. Look to the Buddha Shakyamuni. Buddha Shakyamuni is known as gone, duality is gone. But Buddha, walking with his student, holding arms ball, and say, I'm sitting on the Varchas Peak mountain, I'm teaching this, or I taught this and that. I mean, just clearly, that is like the example. So we don't really have to worry when we reach enlightenment, ourselves is gone and disappear. Oh, that is ego. That is called the grasping. That is making hindrance to go furthermore to discover the openness and the vastness qualities.
We're afraid of what we're
clinging. That's what it clinging. That's like one of the really ego tricks. That's the code, because we're scared with the vastness qualities in a way, and that is really that we're kind of a little bit timid with that. That timidity is the ego tricks or this grasping. In other words. Yeah.
I have a question about seed syllables. How they're connected to the three kayas? How do we connect with three syllables to the kayas? Why these particular syllables?
Which you mean Om Ahom?
Yes.
And this Om Ahom is very much specially connected to the nature of the mind. Om is very much is three kaya, but same time also is known as the syllables of the three form, sound, and space. So they are really like syllables of the form, sound, and space. Om is the syllable of the form, and A is a syllable of sound, and Hong is a syllable of the mind. And how that is connected according to the teaching, nature of the mind, our primordial nature, what we're talking, it is full of the openness, full of luxuries, full of qualities, but it has all qualities it has a potential of the form, it has a potential of the sound, it has a potential of the space or the mind, and so that is mingled within that primordial nature. So when it begins to arising, then it arises as like that three syllables: Om, Ah, and Hong. And for that reason also form. The Om is white, Ah is red, and Hong is blue. And Om, the white represents more form, red represents more sound, and Hong represents more space of the mind. That's the really teaching set.
So if I can visualize clearly does the clarity of visualization, is it related to realizing that particular kaya? Does it make sense?
Say that again, one more.
Is it important to work on the clarity of your visualization of the seed syllables?
Yeah, it's important, definitely important. But if you follow the sadhanas, like practice manual, that is really important. Important to follow with that practice manual, that. And then with that, also it come with the three syllables. So then visualize those three syllables, but particularly whatever that seed syllable, that sadhana explaining, that is really the embodiment of three syllables. Embodiment of three syllables. So therefore, visualize those, that is really clearly along with it. Then the instruction as explaining is then important to follow that. Then that will definitely lead and bring the three kaya realizations. Yes, please.
Yeah, Rinpoche, could you please talk about luminosity?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm confused about luminosity. Is it part of the eye consciousness? Is this something that you see or experience as part of the Vajrayana path?
Luminosity.
Luminosity, yes. What is it?
Luminosity
is it something that you see or know or experience?
Yeah, the nature of as we talk in the primordial ground or primordial nature, has true kind of, like, if we divide it has two major qualities. And the primordial nature of primordial ground, what we discussed, it has a nature of the emptiness. It has a nature of the luminosity or clear light or luminosity. Clear light or luminosity, emptiness is union together, inseparable with the primordial ground. When we talk in primordial ground, it is empty, it is luminosity. And also in the teachings, the nature of that is blissfulness. Blissfulness. So it's really three union in a way. Or in other words, blissfulness is also luminosity. So emptiness and a luminosity status. That is nature of your mind or my mind or our primordial nature. Okay. Yeah, yes, yes.
Daniel?
What's the significance of Tigray and also the
What?
the significance of Tigray
Tigray.
Bindu.
Yeah, Bindu.
and the relationship of Bindu to bliss?
Mm-hmm. Bindu has many meanings, many different way explaining. But sometimes Bindu referred to this primordial ground, primordial nature, what we're talking. That Bindu, that is not really formation. Bindu means what? Actually like circle or the drop and circle that. But that primordial ground, what we're talking, has no formations. Is beyond the formation, beyond the boundary, beyond the limitation, and beyond existing, non-existent. That means, simply to tell, is beyond the conception, beyond the duality. Conception is duality. primordial ground nature is beyond. Duality is unnatural. Duality is a delusion. Primordial ground is undiluted, is pure. Therefore, diluted cannot compass the undiluted qualities, undiluted nature. And that, so therefore, that primordial ground is sometimes named as a bindu. Bindu, and that is the meaning of that, that's the bindu. And then sometimes bindu referred as the element of the bodies, white bindu, red bindus, those mentioned. And those are the pervasive, again, the existing nature of our present physical conditions. Those are the white bindu and the red bindus, and particularly mentioned also white bindus and so forth. So that is bindu also. That's it. Anything else?
What about the relationship of Bindu to bliss?
Relationship with Bindu, if you practice such as Tsalung and Tummo, and then if you practice Tsalung and Tummo movement of those essence element of the body, that is invoke the blissfulness. If you're talking that, but otherwise we already mentioned. I mentioned already the primordial ground, that clear light, luminosity, and emptiness. That is a union. And the clarity light, clear light state is also means the blissfulness. It is nature of primordial. Nature of primordial is blissfulness. This blissfulness is not blissfulness with sensation or feeling. It's beyond the feeling, beyond the sensations. That is really this blissfulness. It's not within the duality frames. Yes.
What is the difference between the experience of not finding ego, you can't find your own mind, identify like this. What's the difference between not finding and abiding in the nature of mind?
Not finding. That is, not finding is maybe when you're doing the analytic way, if you start to investigate, maybe when you receive the teaching said this and that thing, and you investigate, analyzing that, and then you didn't found. So that is not finding. When you did not find, and in the teaching said, when you did not find, that is a great found. Really, that is great found. Really, the teaching said. Now we don't have to lingering thought, oh, this might be, that might. And teaching said that, and you investigate, you did analytic way, you also got the same answer. Now comfortably, then abiding. Abiding is a continually maintaining, as we're talking, maintaining, that is then meditation, maintaining the will. You're not finding is a will, and now abiding is meditation, and abiding in that status. Yes, please.
In a lot of Dharma texts, sometimes it seems like they separate talking about cause and effect and karma. Sometimes it seems like they separate them, and cause and effect can often be talked about sometimes like it's 1 + 1 = 2, and then they'll talk about karma, and they'll start to talk about good and bad karma and merit and how that influences what happens to an individual. Could you talk a little bit about where karma and merit where do they interface with cause and effect? Because sometimes, like in the wheel of life, it seems like it's just 1, 2, 3, but actually it seems like it's jumping all over the place. When you look at it.
I think the karma and karma teaching is teachings of the relative truth. Karma is the relative truths. Karma is teachings on the duality world of dualities. That is really teaching on the karma. And in world of duality, karma is truly existing. Karma is cause and effect, as it says. Everything what you see here has cause and conditions, and therefore that brought the result. Without a cause and a condition, there is no result at all. It comes. And the cause, the result also corresponds to exactly cause and conditions. Where the cause and condition, that develop the similar looking result. They correspond exactly as it is. And that all is known as a relative truth. This system is known as, in Buddhism, as you read the book, interdependent coordination. All is interconnected systems. Connected systems. It doesn't mean that karma is truly existing. It's relative truth. It's not something truly existing. But as long as we have the duality, karma is existing together with the dualities. Therefore, as long as we have the duality, there at that long we have the good, we have the bad, we have the neutral. Therefore, good will bring good result, bad will bring bad result in the world of dualities. So therefore, we should be wise and thoughtful with our every actions and trying to do really better and good things that will ripple effect to our own self, but same time it has ripple effect to the others too. All is connected. Gross level, subtle level, very subparticle level, really everything is connected. So therefore, is this world of phenomena is so intermingled. Therefore, if we do good things, definitely it will affect immediately to us, but that to one's own self, but also it really will have some chain reactions, a ripple effect to the others, it will benefit. So therefore, this good karma is very important. Then within the good karma, then there is what's called good karma, that good karma in the samsara, or that good karma will take to the nirvana. And those are then merit practice. Merit is also, for example, in Buddhism, I'm sure you read the book, there's two merits, accumulation merit, wisdom merit. Accumulation merit is in the phenomenon as a relative truth. So all the good deeds, with this, everything what we do, it has a really good purpose. It brings good things in the phenomena. As long as we have duality, it is good, it is better than that. And then wisdom merit is beyond the duality. Our meditation, practicing dzogchen meditation, maintaining that perfect view in the world, that will increase that and clears with pacify or soften the duality, transcend the duality, and then become enlightenment. So therefore, as long as we have the duality, that long karma is existing, and that long then is good is good, bad is bad. Good. Yes.
So, Rinpoche, to pick up on Sears' question about karma, when we practice the Dorje in the third thought, the result of actions, virtuous and non-virtuous actions, are inexorable. You cannot escape them. But you're saying that the karma, action, reaction, that's all within relative reality.
Oh, it's relative.
Because then later in the same Wondro practice, we go to the practice of Vajrasattva. And then in Vajrasattva, the promise is like, I remember many years ago I read from Chagda Tukar Rinpoche in his book, Gates to Buddhist Practice, he's talking about Wondro. And he says, the good thing about bad karma is it can be purified. So even though in the relative sense, there's no escape from karma, but we practice calling upon Vajrasattva as the witness, and we make a confession, and we make the promise to not make negative actions, and then we receive the blessings. So does that mean that the karmas, even though they're inexorable, they can't escape already, the ripple is happening, that by practicing we can actually change, and maybe the effect of karma does not happen because we become purified? Yeah.
That, if you do strong antidote, strong power to resolve those karmas, definitely it can be removed. It can be removed. But however, without doing anything, then karma is inexorable. Inexorable. Because without doing that, really, it really will come. Even in the Buddha teaching mentioned even it could take maybe eons, but still it will comes back. It will it will hit us, or one way or other it will hit. And a great master in Jimmy Longpa mentioned an example. He said, when your bird flies so high up the sky, you never see shadow. But moment it is going to land on the ground, then you see the shadow. Similarly, the karma can go for a long time without anything, but when the situation and circumstances come, it will come as like shadow comes back in the ground when bird land. So those are really teaching said. I mean, so therefore karma definite, but however we can purify. And in the teaching also say the karma can purify. If is, for example, this karma is going to mature, going to come after a few years, then if you start doing something now, really can clean, can purify. But if karma is too close with us here, then even you do practice and meditate, it's still quite as difficult to clear it completely, but maybe can ease.
So if we have a debt, or every year in America we have to pay taxes,
Mhm.
so we know that day is coming.
Mhm.
You know, so we have to prepare for that. Because,
That's true.
Because it will become
That's
due.
true.
We will have to pay.
Yeah,
it,
if
so.
you pay gradually, a little bit, everything, then it's become a little more light.
Yeah, because if you don't pay sometimes, then they charge interest and penalties.
That's it. And then one way or another, the uncle will come back.
Uncle will come back.
Daniel?
Rinpoche, could you help me understand primordial ground a little bit more? I got a D in logic in college. So it was a bad grade in logic.
Right.
So we're taught that all phenomena lack inherent existence. And they arise through causes and conditions.
Say that again.
That all phenomena lack inherent existence, they're empty,
Mm-hmm.
and they arise through causes and conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Is primordial ground considered a phenomena, and does it arise through causes and conditions?
No. Primordial ground is not condition. Or primordial nature is not compounded. Therefore, it's called uncompounded. Primordial is uncompounded. Cause and conditions are compounded. And cause and conditions are coming from where? From primordial nature states. They are within the primordial nature state, not just coming and then kind of separate. They're within the primordial nature states. But those that is they are all compounded. Compounded things are, as we was talking tonight, is known as in the larger philosophical level, is interdependent coordination. Cause and condition. There's not just one cause and condition. There's so many particles are supporting each other one way or the other. Whatever that is, the result is coming, really supported. So they have so many cause and support us one after another, and bring us all phenomena one after whatever their phenomena. And each of those cause and condition is also has many cause and condition. It's not just one cause, it's solid kind of come and put together and both that. Each of those are so many particles. So this is the way, therefore it is called the illusion. It's all illusion particles, subparticles that come together, build up that systems in the illusion or the primordial ground or the emptiness status. And that what you see, it is also, according to the teaching, it is emptiness completely. And for that reason, Great Master Nagarjuna said what? If it's interdependent coordination, then that is emptiness. If it's emptiness, that is interdependent coordination. So that's really it's all in that nature status. So that is what this cause and condition is. If I say another word that many is a relative truth. All is a relative truth. But primordial ground is absolute truth.
So does it inherently exist then?
No, is not nothing inherent in existing. If inherent in existing, it is existing. But as we're talking, primordial ground is beyond existing and non-existing. Any dogma of the duality cannot grab or can comprehend. For those reasons, greatest teacher Buddha mentioned inconceivable. It's inconceivable. It's not just a Buddha used that word to track us. When you're looking, for example, when we don't find, we look into our mind. If we look to our mind, truly you have mind, I have mind, that's what we're discussing. But where is that mind? Where is that? Really, if you think carefully. So that is called inconceivable, beyond existing. But yet it is here. This is called then emptiness arises as form, or like in the Heart Sutra. Emptiness is form. That's it. But form is on the relative level. That's surface. Even form, even is arising. Form is emptiness. Form is not solid existing. Existing is totally like translucent or like as a rainbow. Okay. Yes.
There was a question that came up in the class regarding you had mentioned Pure Lands and say through POA one would go to Amitabha's Pure Land, but or having aspirations for Amitabha at the time of death and going to Amitabha's Pure Land. Where do the Pure Lands then fit in terms of the three realms of cyclic existence? Are they within cyclic existence or not? If they are not, then how can a being who is not enlightened be in some place other than cyclic existence?
This is like Amitabha's Pure Land is not within the three realms. It's really beyond the three realms.
Where is it?
It's in the west direction. West. I think it's from here. From here, I think maybe it's close. According to Buddha Shakyamuni, it is in the western direction, really. So it's like that the organ where we are now is really the furthest west that we can go up in the world. So from here, I think maybe we can jump. But according to the teaching of the Buddha Shakyamuni, that the Pure Land of the Amitabha or the Pure Land of the five Dhyana Buddhas are not really within the samsara. It's out of samsara. But because what in the teaching said, to take the rebirth in the different Pure Land, such as the East Pure Land or the Vajrasattva Pure Land, this and that place, very difficult to get to take the rebirth in that Pure Land, because at least you have to reach first Bhumi. Those are really in the teaching said. But Amitabha Pure Land is very easy because of the commitment, aspiration of the Buddha Amitabha himself. That's what. And therefore, whoever in the teaching said, gracious teacher Buddha Shakyamuni said in the teaching, the Amitabha Sutras, there is 4 causes of the Amitabha to take the rebirth in the Pure Land of Buddha Amitabha. Remember on the Pure Land of the Buddha Amitabha and Amitabha again and again as much you can remember things. And the second cause is then you're kind of making some degree of the commitment. When I leave, I'm going to go to Pure Land of Amitabha, kind of having that connection that. And the third is accumulation praise, accumulating merit. Even the smallest the merit offering that you can do, and kind of making that offering to take the birth in the Pure Land of Amitabha, me and every living beings. So third is cause. And the fourth cause is the dedicated the merit is. My dedication, whatever activity I do and whatever meritorious activities do, may I take the rebirth in Pure Land, and as well as all the living beings, really thinking of that. Those are known as the 4 causes of to take the rebirth in Pure Land of Amitabha. And the Buddha Shakyamuni said in that Amitabha Sutra, said, oh, Ananda, you look to the western directions and then make offerings. Buddha Amitabha make, what's called this? Even the flower, hold the flowers and throw the direction of the Buddha Amitabha, you will take the birth in the Pure Land of Buddha Amitabha. Really, Buddha said that. So therefore, these 4 causes of for those kind of cause of the Buddha Amitabha, if you make that connection, that then because aspiration of the Buddha Amitabha, his previous commitment, and then we really take the birth in the Pure Land of the Buddha Amitabha.
And that being then that goes to Dewa Chen is is not enlightened at that point?
No, they're not enlightened.
But
They-
they're
they-
not in samsara either?
No, they're not in samsara. They're not in samsara. So that is a very, very special way to kind of get out of samsara, have vacation more than Hawaii. I mean, Hawaii is the west, but it's more than Hawaii, and really, and then in the what the great master Karma Chami said that, it's not Buddha Shakyamuni said for example, these fortunate eons. In the eon 1000 Buddha will come in this one eon, fortunate eon. So that means 1000 Buddha Shakyamuni is the fourth Buddha, and what's called this? Three Buddha already went before, and the fourth is the Buddha Shakyamuni, and there is 996 Buddha is going to come. More. Whole that period with that one eon in the Devaki is one day. One day. One day. So that's it. And so therefore, Great Master Karma Chami said, life is so long in Devaki, and everyone is so youthful. There's no troubles. There's so many situations, circumstances, the opportunity to practices. So each Buddha is getting enlightenment, turning the wheel of Dharma in this world. Come back, like short trip, take day trip, come to this world, and see the Buddha Maitreya, such as Maitreya and all this Buddha, and then go back to the pure land of the Amitabha, and also travel in different places and come back. And you are really continually engaged in so many beautiful activity, and within the Devaki, you completely accumulated it, and you progress all the 10 bhumis of the 5 paths. That's what then you reach enlightenment, or you reach enlightenment in that pure land, or in some other pure land. That's what the long Amitabha prayer by Great Master Karma Chami really said that. This is not just he saying, that's what the teaching said.
Rinpoche, it sounds like if you're poor, your parents are poor, so it's difficult to go to college. It's like winning the scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't really have the money or the merit, but you win the scholarship, and then you get to go to college. Or because of Amitabha gives the scholarship
Definitely.
by thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But then can you talk about how that's
Amitabha gave the scholarship, and Amitabha gives you the what's called free package of air trips. Everything is prepared. Everything prepared. And moment you leave, if you're really good practitioners of the Amitabha, moment you begin to leave, and you begin to see all the welcome entourages.
And then what happens to the negative karma that has
And
not been
you
purified?
purify there.
You purify there?
Of course.
Okay.
You all that won't go away. You don't have to finish that.
Oh.
You can do all those accumulation practices, but easily, comfortably, and beautifully. Whatever you desired, it really appears in the teaching set. It appears all that. So that's it.
And can you say how is the Buddhist view of Amitabha? Because sometimes people could think, as a Christian, well, this sounds like heaven. It sounds like the same thing. But my understanding is instead of, sometimes people think they go to heaven, it's like now you go to heaven and then just nothing to do all the time and just be lazy. But one Lama asked, he said, no, it's like now you go and you actually have to purify, because then they kick you out and you have to go somewhere and serve sentient beings. You have to become Buddha and go somewhere and take care of the sentient beings.
Yeah, but because according to the teacher, of course, definitely when you go in Pure Land Devachim, you're not going to waste your time.
You won't waste your time.
Your intention, your goal, and pure everything is just completely in that beautiful environment. Everything is just coming. You continue advancing your path. That means that you're also fulfilling all beneficial activities as your capabilities. And through that, you will accumulate 2 merits, as in the teaching said here, as you accumulated that. You fulfill all that things. You become the bodhisattvas from from advancing bodhisattvas. So therefore, really, there's nothing you have to concern and worry. According to teaching that you get, just you can completely there, and then from there, what the great Master Karma Chami said, reaching enlightenment or become high bodhisattva, and then began to emanate so many beings to then benefit it according to your or according to the situation, circumstance that occurred in the time, and the benefit for all living beings.
Jude, did you have a...
Yes?
I take it back to being a living being. Is it at death? You can. How does a being go into Dewachen? How does that happen? Is it
a burrow?
Pola?
Yeah. Is it a
What? It what?
How does a being get into the pure realm? I missed that part.
And how you can go to the Pure Land of the Amitabha? In the teaching said, moment you think, that moment, for example, when you're passing, that moment, really you can be in the Pure Land of the Amitabha. In the
If your consciousness.
if consciousness ever. And here again, the great master of the Karma Chami was one of the great founder and practitioners of the Amitabha. Every teaching is mentioned of that. He said you don't have to go as like human beings walk the Devaji by walking. That time, of course, there's no car, no airplane, and no space shuttles. So he said, don't have to go think of they're going by feet or by horse, or not going to go also Pure Land by the wings. But moment you think of the Amitabha, that time, and that moment you really will be in Pure Land.
In the bardo of dying?
Yeah, Pardo, just before even the Pardo of dying, that you can be there. That means then we won't have Pardo. Pardo is then you end it.
Right.
But during the Pardo, if you remember, reconnected, and then you will be there, and then that upcoming Pardo will be finished.
And then can a being ever come back and reincarnate from the Pure Land?
For me,
back
yes.
into samsara?
Yeah.
By choice or?
Oh, by choice. By
By
choice.
choice.
Now by choice.
Like a bodhisattva?
Like bodhisattvas. By choice. Yeah, exactly true. Yes?
What if you're making aspirations to go to Akanishta?
That,
Is that a mistake then?
no, mistake. It's super duper good. Really, it's excellent. But Akanishita is what it means. Akanishita word means what? What means what?
It's the Pure Land of Padmasambhava.
No.
Yeah, Pure Land Pamasama too. But Akanishta.
Akanishta Pure.
It's what-
Your Akanishta is what?
Highest. Omin, right?
Yeah, Omin. That's it.
No, nothing higher.
It's the
than
Dharma
That, but what it really means, Omin, in the Tibetan word Omin, in the Sanskrit Akanishita, means not within or under the duality. So that Pure Land is beyond the duality. That is really what Pure Land. That is Akanishita means. To get that places, that we have good meditation now, good realization, because we cannot be in the world of that which is beyond the duality with duality. Therefore, we cannot. So therefore, you have to have really good high realization. But definitely, you can make aspiration or practice, but to target that, that's wonderful to be there.
The same as Dharmakaya?
Pardon?
Is that the same as Dharmakaya?
Dharmakaya, exactly true. Dharmakaya state or the Sambhokaya status. Sambhokaya. And then Pure Land of the Gurupema Sambhava. That is also really great. But that is like, and the teaching said is in the northwest direction of the, like in the Buddha Gaya or this world said, and some teaching said also Pure Land of Gurupema Sambhava is suburbs of the Devaki, Amitabha.
The suburb.
Suburb.
So in the west and just,
In the west
just
of
slightly
the
northwest.
northwest of the Pure Land of Amitabha. Suburb. So,
Beaverton.
no, really, some master says is there too. So Amitabha, Gurupema Sambhava is the Nirmakaya Buddha of the Amitabha, according to teaching. So, yes.
Rinpoche, so speaking of Guru Rinpoche, Jomgon Control and Mipam have extensive writings about Guru Rinpoche, and one of the things they talk frequently about is that Guru Rinpoche never died. Sometimes I feel like I understand that, but then sometimes I don't feel like I understand that. Could you talk a little bit about that special quality?
Yeah,
of
because
Rinpoche?
Guru Brahma Sambhava is when we die, why we dying? Actually, of course. What the reason? Because our physical condition has no strength to keep up continually as what we are. That's why we're getting older and older, or grown up. That is not really remaining that. So that, and then then our consciousness and this physical have to be separated, and that is according to Buddhism, that's the dying, dead. But Gurupema Sambhava has physical elements are transcended into wisdom. Wisdom, in a way, wisdom molecules, wisdom particles. So therefore, our body is built up by the, according to Buddhism, is 4 elements, is fire, water, wind, earth. But Guru Brahma Sambhava transcended that 4 element or 5 element into wisdoms, totally wisdom status. So Guru Brahma Sambhava body is not structured by the 4 elements. It is totally 5 wisdoms. 5 wisdoms. Therefore, then is Guru Brahma Sambhava is beyond death and birth. And this is called the highest realization of the Dzogchen state, transcendental wisdom rainbow bodies. So really you transcended this physical element into the subtle wisdom rainbow light element or wisdom. Then you don't die. And Guru Brahma Sambhava, when he left the Tibet, he never died. In according to teachings, he just flew away or he left. Those are every stories. There's many different stories that everyone said he just went away that. And similarly, the great master Bhamal Matras, and as well as then also Yishin Soja too. Yishin Soja left the sky. So this is like highest realization that if within this lifetime, your power of your meditation practice, Guru Brahma Sambhava, of course, is the emanation of the Buddha Amitabha and reincarnation of Buddha Shakyamuni. But others really they practice and meditate because of the achievement that is completely element transcendental to the wisdom light.
So did they then, Vimal Mitra and Guru Padmasambhava then went through the Poa Chempo?
Yeah, they Poa Chempo. Great transcendental wisdom rainbow body or Jaling Poa Chempo. They are Jaling Poa Chempo. Yes, please.
Khenpo, would you mind explaining the process of sort of like, or the experience of the disciple's mind merging the disciple's mind merging with the guru's mind?
That is generally the nature. Again, we're talking about the primordial nature. Primordial nature or the nature is very same. There's no really difference. Your primordial nature and the Guru's primordial nature is very same. Is open, vastness, clear, pure from the beginning, and not compounded. Is pervasive. Is pure, as like the is pure and known as also Dharmakaya state. It's completely pure. That is you, and the Guru or every nature is the same status. But then when you merging that process is then also is very important that with the bodhicitta and the devotions. Particularly when you practicing Guru Yoga or the merging time, really feel strong devotions. Devotions is joy and appreciation and confidence, and then feel the richness, precious, how beautiful, and you just longing and no doubt and hesitation that, and then you receive the blessings, and finally then when Guru dissolve, for example, in Hondo practice, when Guru receive the blessings all one after another, finally Guru Brahma Sambhava dissolved and multiple like the small sphere, as a tigli or the bindu, small one, and which is the essence is then the wisdom, love, compassion, blissfulness, and that came to your heart center, or came from crown chakra to the heart center, or whatever, and then is merged with your own awareness, and that is really known as merging nature of the mind, and then relax. From that moment, there is no difference between you and a guru or anything. Just relax in that state is known as merging the mind with the mind of the Guru Masamba. Okay.
Rinpoche? Did somebody else? There's been a question in our class about trying to understand the nature or the idea of the alaya.
Mm-hmm.
And could you explain? Could you describe what alaya is and how it relates to awareness and Rigpa?
Mm-hmm. Rupa is the primordial wisdoms. Alaya is the one who holds all the habit patterns. Habit pattern, who hold the habit patterns. So every habit pattern. And that what is that alaya is consciousness. Is consciousness. And that consciousness is like what I'm sure you heard, that there's at consciousness, or the seven consciousness. The deepest one, the ground one is the alaya. In Sanskrit, the alaya in Tibet is called kunja, which means ground of all. And so alaya is really ground. That means your mind. In the symbol we tell is your mind, the deepest part of your mind. And where habit pattern is kept. Every habit pattern, everything is kept, completely kept. And I always think this alaya, maybe we use examples modern time now, iCloud.
The iCloud.
iCloud. Okay.
iCloud. Yeah, the alaya is like iCloud, where everything you registered, everything you kept, whether good and bad, is all kept in that iCloud. Where is iCloud? It's somewhere up there. Somewhere up there. But in this case, somewhere here. Somewhere here. So really, it's true. It's like iCloud of the modern time. This high technology is really developing such these things. So now we can refer that. I mean, that's according to the Buddha teaching, and that's alaya. It's the deepest level of nature. And then this alaya can be divided into two in the teaching. Said that alaya one hold all the habit patterns samsara, and alaya of the original nature of the mind. Two kind of alayas. The alaya one that hold all the habit pattern is more connected with the duality. But alaya of the original nature is the same as primordial ground, primordial nature. Primordial nature is the same.
That's Rigpa.
That's a Rigpa. That from there, the Rigpa is like that the intelligence or the wisdom, pristine cognition part of that arising energy, I think, is Rigpa. Rigpa is not duality, according to Dzogchen. Otherwise, Rigpa is generally Buddhist terminology level. Rigpa is just a synonym of the mind. But in the Dzogchen, Rigpa means Rigpa is not duality. It is really pristine wisdoms, awareness.
Is there a difference between, from the Dzogchen view, between Rigpa and Yeshe?
Not too much, but more used in the Dzogchen, Rigpa. Rigpa is a symbol.
Paul, do you understand that enough to repeat it back later?
You're right. No, if you have any questions, ask now.
Did you say that alaya of ordinary nature?
Alaya, the ordinary, there is called alaya, the alaya that hold variety of the habit patterns. That habituals. All. And that is the samsara in a way diluted alaya that hold. And there's a second alaya is also part of the mind too, but it's called ordinary nature, alaya of ordinary nature.
And then you said that is the primordial.
That is primordial, but that is the from there. That is the place arising all the display of the nirvana's displays, enlightenment, pure land, all that display arises.
So is it like layers?
Yeah, kind of layers. I mean layers, or is it just one is pure, one is not pure. More is more, one is diluted. But even that is all divided within the alaya. Is not two different things.
So they're
Accord-
exactly the same then, Rinpoche?
Yeah, is it really exactly two different?
Like
One
Nirvana
aspect,
and
two
samsara?
two different aspects in one nature.
But the greater is the pure alaya.
Yeah, yeah.
The impure alaya, it doesn't exist somewhere else.
No,
It's also
also
arises
within
under
the
pure
within
alaya.
the yeah.
So with the idea of the iCloud, so the habitual pattern alaya is like the files on the cloud that have viruses and all kinds of problems. And then the pure alaya is pristine, like no virus.
No virus.
No
That's
virus.
it. No, really. That's it. That's true. So iCloud can have also virus.
Okay, yeah, you could get a virus. You know, there are different kinds of attacks. You know, people can attack, and you know, a file is corrupted, and it can corrupt your
That is
email.
then this the old habitual pattern alaya.
Or like
Yeah.
that.
Habitual iCloud.
Habitual iCloud.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, when you're meditating in shamatha and your mind settles, I think I finally may understand why, if they're both in alaya, the pure and the impure. So when you're doing shamatha meditation, you can settle down into ordinary mind.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Because when you do the shamatha meditation, and you don't have to think about the alaya at that time at all.
yeah? You don't think about
Don't
it.
have to think at all alaya, and just mind is arising awareness, active awareness, arising active awareness from alaya, and which is our mind. And so when you meditate, shamatha meditation means you're relaxing your mind, resting your mind. So we don't have to think alaya, or we don't have to think any of that, just simply relaxing your mind in one single state with that concentrations. That is really shamatha meditation. Then you have any other, what you said?
Yeah, you know, you have different experiences in shamatha. That's why I was wondering, because if you get to a point in shamatha where you're very still for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
you can experience just the second kind of alaya, just the
No, that could be, but however, when you're meditating on the shamatha for a long time, and your mind is become very settled and calm and peaceful, and then your experience can come. That is also display from by mind. Of course, according to the teaching, is originally mind is just coming from alaya. So that, but however, it is all also part of the mind, which is means in the surface level of then the alaya, or and different experience will come, and different kind of that understanding or the experience will appear, but that is also a display of the mind. And also we not kind of following after those thoughts or experiences, continually abiding, maintaining, and then it becomes shamatha become more stabilized and more become calmer, more peaceful, and then really mind can more rested in that nature status. Okay. Yes.
What in terms of reincarnation, when a person dies, what is connected to Kunji, to Alaya? What dies, and how the process of connecting to the next incarnation happens?
Person when dies that all the senses merge to the mind. The mind. So all the senses of the five senses merge to the mind. Mind is merged to the kind of emotion mind. Emotion mind is merged to the alaya. Then alaya merged to the then in the space, and then you relax. Or alaya merge to the rupa state or the awareness status. state, and then then person died. But who taking the rebirth, then that consciousness or that alaya, then is moving to the next stages, or they're going through the pardos. Okay.
In Buddhist, you say pure phenomena, pure awareness. What is the essential meaning of pure in Buddhism? Is it different from when we say like pure milk or?
This means pure means never obscured by the duality. I mean, we are talking today pure ground. That pure I'm talking. Of course, it depends with the contracts and what you're discussing. Pure, and as you said, pure milk. Of course, it's also pure milk. In a real truth, there's pure milk and not pure milk, and so. But this time tonight, what we're talking about, the pure ground and all that, that is pure from the dualities, or pure from the obscurations.
Then you say pure phenomena. It means the perception of phenomena without duality.
Pure phenomena is then is known as like when you got quite higher realizations, then your phenomena become more pure than what we are now. So it depends with how much realization individual has, according to their realization, and phenomena is become more pure and more pure according to teachings, become more pure. And then everything is really pure, that the duality is completely gone, then phenomena is completely become perfectly pure as pure land, what we're talking.
Daniel.
You had mentioned in your teachings,
What?
I think on Saturday you had mentioned in your teachings the Buddha of the degenerate times. Could you talk a little bit more about what exactly the degenerate times are, and what their qualities are?
Degeneration times generally is in the teaching say that degeneration times like degeneration of the human mentalities, emotions, conducts, and then degenerations of the and then degeneration of the human behaviors. So degeneration is not just going to happen from outside. Degeneration started with the way human beings, their mentality and their behaviors, their activity, that really, the emotions, that's how they really will change. And then that will, when it's reflected externally, and then so many difficulties and troubles are arising one after another, even though it looks like it's coming from outside element, all that, but reality, according to Buddha's teaching and the teaching of Guru Pema Sambhu, is really very much dependent with we human beings' behaviors. So degeneration times human beings' mentality, their way of thinking, their behavior, emotions have become so strong, so rough, and then that really brings the degeneration.
Will this also affect the transmission of the lineages too? Will there be a break in the oral transmissions from?
That could be. But however, in the teaching said that as much as the degeneration has become more intensified, that much then Vajrayana and the Dzogchen teaching become stronger and powerful. Also in the teaching said the truth. But of course, it has some different effects, and that could happen. But every we practice and continue, then that the realization or the result of practice is also is really like demolishing. Actually, is intensifying according to the teaching.
Thank you.
Yes.
If you're practicing Vajrasattva,
Pardon?
when you're practicing Vajrasattva practice, and you're removing obscurations through your practice,
Yeah.
or making the effort to, decreasing or removing stains,
Yeah, right.
obscurations, does that increase non-dual?
That will increase in non-dual. Definitely will increase in non-duals. It will purify. Non-dual is obscurations. Duality is obscurations. So therefore, when you practice and purify, it really bringing, or it is increasing the opportunity to arising the non-duals.
Okay. It increases the opportunity for the non-dual to arise.
Yeah, it definitely will. It goes is you're purifying the obscurations, and the obscuration is like clouds in the skies. So as much as you clear it away, that much you will bring the clear light or the sunlight or the blue sky.
So how does the non-dual arise?
How is it arise?
Yes.
Non-dual is the nature of your mind. Is here, right here. Is nothing really arise or not arising. That is right here. But it is covered by our duality that also arises from your nature. Nature is not come from anywhere else. If one's own nature is like mishandled and then become the dualities. So that now we are also when that creation of that obscuration duality is one's own creations, and therefore also we're going to purify that by our own self. Even nobody can clean that for us. We have to put it. So therefore we're using the technique that will suit exactly as it is, like homeopathic techniques. Remedy. You use the same remedy of the duality is created by mind, but remedy is also brought by the mind, and we're using that. So there's then really cleanse and purified that duality obscuration and revealed our original nature exactly as it is.
So how does Dzogchen practice increase non-duality?
Dzogchen practice, when you meditate on the Dzogchen, is non-duality.
It is non-duality.
Immediately that is really, you immediately merge to the non-duality. That moment. But then is the question, how long we can keep that non-dual status? That is then, you have to practice. Then that's perfect. Otherwise, Dzogchen teaching, when the moment you practice Dzogchen, and that moment you are in non-dual status. And therefore Dzogchen is so powerful, so special, and that's what every in the teaching says. That's what how is so powerful and so special.
You should just go straight there.
Yeah.
This is a question. I'm sorry. It came up the other night. Could you explain a little bit about, or a lot about, inner, outer, and secret obstacles?
It depends. There's also different inner and outer and sub. Yeah. And then we talk the outer obstacles, maybe more related with tangible, externally, something related with the fire, water, wind, or the material, and then maybe our walks are not going well, or something kind of happening. And those are all kind of like we can put as category of the outer obstacles. Then inner obstacle is more kind of related with personal level, very personal, our own physical body, and all this what the go. That is the more inner obstacles. And the secret obstacle is more related with the mental, emotion, psychological troubles, and all that is known as used as the secret obstacles. Yeah. Okay, so then we stop. Just one more. Yeah.
My question kind of spun off from Daniel's the degenerate time, and then here Dorje Rinpoche talks a lot in the preparation about the 8 worldly concerns, and also Longchenpa and Patru Rinpoche. And I'm curious because in this time of degenerate materialism, let's say, in the world, how important is renunciation or stepping away from the 8 worldly concerns with the Dzogchen practice? Because some Dzogchen teachers say, oh, well, you can be in the marketplace and transcend it all. But I always find.
But then, if you can, you are in a marketplace. If you can transcend, then definitely you can be.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can be in the market and transcendent, wonderful.
But for example,
if you can, then that's definite.
Yeah. Dorje Rinpoche says though he says mixing the 8 worldly concerns with the Dharma is very bad and reverses progress. So I guess the question is what is your advice on this time period we're in for progress?
But I can't say more than what His Holy Dongyal said.
Exactly.
Really, that's nothing more than that. This is not just His Holy Dongyal saying, but that is all the great masters say.
Exactly.
Buddha said too. So it's that. But however, we can we have to follow according to our capabilities. How much we can give up.
And also
and moderate if we can give out, if we're not too much kind of involved, completely saturated with that world concern, and become completely kind of intoxicated with that, then kind of we keep some good balances, then I think it's really okay. I will say. And then if you gradually, if you can kind of away from the world, at world concern, is good until you become good stabilizer of your meditation. Then your meditation become really good, strong, stabilized, and then as the other great masters said, oh, you can be in the market if you can transcend it. Then that means you have good stabilization of your awareness meditation. If you have that capability, then you can be in the market, you can be any place, but still you're not losing your awareness. You're transcending that. If even we say that I'm a Dzogchen practitioner, I can stay in the market, but if we are completely caught with that, then it's the same as an ordinary person. I mean, we just caught. Even we say we're a practitioner, but it's not really affecting, benefiting too much. So therefore, always ask to one's own self how much we developed. How much developed. For example, according to those great masters teaching and practitioners, if you have really good realization that the individual is love and compassion, it becomes so powerful, so deep, so strong. And at the same time, they become so humble, so humane, so simple, and so patient, not just a kind of bumping all the time. That it's really become like that. And then, I mean, each of us, we can tell to our own mind, there's nothing better than our own self to know our own what we are. And therefore, we always kind of measure with ourselves, use as those thermometers of our patience, our devotions, our body each other, and then gradually, then if we can, then great. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. We do 1 minute again meditation, and then we do. Karayarave Guruve Jangasu Pintain Deva Malu Jungwene Kere Zuwen Tenzin Jamsoye Yabe Gurje Barada Danjaraje Amaso de Menza Yandun Jungsum Tusum Judi Vima in Zunde Tukjin to Zinji Kenji Purnishi Prabhu Kutse Danja Anderson Jo Sonum de Tamji Zupa is a Tumani Bedana Pal. Jegana Jebalon Trupa, Siban Solendo Wara, Joan Gwen Luigi, Zoring Lochi, and Zamlay Sasa and Jabaramba, Roji and Josa and Hawa, and the Ratus Gele Show. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
In your prayer packet, we should have long life prayers for Khenpo Tsewang Dongyal Rinpoche. If we could check that once in Tibetan and once in English.
Om Swasti Tsewang Rinpoche Temme Jinlab Chi Toni Drupe Laksam Norden La Shedur Kolo Sumji Paljorde Sanchen Matan Chole Namjar Om Swasti. By the blessings of the Vidya Pema, the very power of life, may Khenpo Tsewang Dongyal, who possesses the wealth of pure intention to accomplish the two aims, be gloriously surrounded by the three wheels of contemplation, practice, and noble activities. May his life be firm and long, gaining victory and dominion over the 10 directions for the great secret Vajrayana.
So before we have to leave, if you'd like to come up and offer kata and maybe make an offering to Rinpoche, do that now.
Also, we have about 8 copies